streaming is on.
Goodness.
Thank you, Jessica.
The weakness of Alberto.
So can you tell me, Joyce,
Yes.
the benefits of option 1 was no cuts, right? Okay, 0.80. Okay, so option 1, no cuts. Then we have option 2, right? That how much the additional cut?
Additional 6.23%.
Okay, 6%. And how much from the baseline?
5%.
5% from baseline. Okay. Can you tell me how much we lower the benefits? Overtime bonus went to how much? 150, right? Inter-reimbursement 75.
Option 2?
Yeah, option 2.
Yeah.
75, right?
Oh, yeah, yes.
Inter-reimbursement? Okay.
Fee is 18.63.
Okay, because how many hours for me? 11?
12.5.
12.5. No, I don't get it. It's 12.5 my hours for option
Yes.
2. You sure?
Yes.
And the reimbursement is how much?
Reimbursement, where is 18.63.
18.63, correct. Yeah, no, correct. Okay, thank you. So how much is J?
J is 680.
No, hours. How many hours?
Hour 10.
10.
It should be 10.5 because it should be 1.5 hours.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I was thinking about it. True.
10.5. So Mamun also should be 10.5.
No, but Mamun is the proposal. The proposal is 10. Yeah. It's 10.5 and 12 for me then. 12. Let's put 12. Okay. All right, Jay, you want to review quickly the options before we transfer them to the budget, because they're all in our notes for the moment.
I can see it. Yes, I see option 1, 2, 3, 4. So option 1, 5% cuts.
Yeah, the option 1 would be basically no additional cuts. No additional cuts is the same budget and no MOS. Right? So MOS is not part of the no MOS.
Option number 1 would fire moth.
Yeah, I mean the option 1 is we don't do any cuts from the previous budget.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, we should have an option like that, no?
Sure. Just wanted to make sure that make sure it's clear that that would not include moth. Yeah.
Yeah, it does not include moth. So I doubt it passes, but anyways, it's just okay. Everybody should be, if you wanted to. I mean, we always include an option that is basically the same budget as the current month, the previous month. Then option 2, we would have additional cuts of 5% with the inclusion of moth. Okay, so these cuts would come from so J 10.5 in this case, and I would go to 12, right? So we would cut basically 5%.
No, 12 is correct. 12.5.
Okay, we would cut so 5% from you, 20% from me, 20% from Ate, and 11% from Joyce. And this would give us $277 here, plus we would cut $57 of benefits, mainly the overtime bonus, the internal reimbursement, and the fees, because the fees are just my Workana fees. So it's 5% based on my budget. That's how the fees are calculated. So this would give us $265 of cuts, which would mean an additional cut of 5% from the current budget and an overall cut from the baseline on which the policy is based, right? The baseline of the policy of 7.37.
Okay, so option number 1 and option number 2 are against policy. All right, so option 3.
Yeah, against policy, correct. This is important to note. Against policy. Let me write it quickly. Against policy. And then we would have option 3, where we go down to, there would be 9 hours for you, 9 hours for me, 15 hours for Ate. So basically the option that we said, just me and you, and we leave everybody the same, everybody else. So 9 hours you, 9 hours myself, plus 67, that is an overall cut of 12.2% from the baseline and an additional cut of 10%.
What is this number in F216?
F216. This is the current budget, 26 months budget. So the additional cut, 26.
Budget? What do you mean the current budget? What does that mean?
The budget that we just passed, the 26.
Oh, I see. You mean additional cuts on top of the current budget versus the baseline budget. All right.
Yeah, here we have the baseline cuts, which are the ones important for the policy. And this would be the additional cut from the previous months, which is the current budget, the only budget we have for the month. So, yeah, I mean, technically we are without budget, so this is the previous month's budget, correct? So, previous. And then we have option 4, where we cut from you, I go 50%, as we said, and also we cut from Joyce as well. So Joyce would be 16.5, since we say it's 16.5. 1.5 hours. Yeah. So maybe Joyce, you can go down to 15 here in this option.
Yeah, I said 15.5. Is it 15?
Yeah, but it must be always in 1.5 hours, right? 1.5 hours.
Yeah.
So here we would have an additional cut of 14% and overall cut of 16.35%. Obviously, Jay, we cut ourselves because we believe we're going to set up quickly the nonprofit budget, where we can be part of the nonprofit budget.
So we could cut Moth a little bit more too. I don't know if he needs 14 hours right now, since he doesn't really have any responsibilities.
That is true.
Yeah, this all looks good. There's no option with Stacy, which is just the other policy tracking. But I think
we did policy tracking for Stacy. So
yeah,
as we said, yeah.
Cool. So yeah, I mean, I think it's good. The only issue, of course, is that this is all focused on the time budget.
No, this is overall budget. This is all overall budget. We didn't even look at the time budget.
Overall budget, but how can it change? You can't make changes to the overall budget.
We would need. This would be 2 preemptive, option 2 and option 3. No, option 3 and option 4 would be also option 2 would all be preemptive options, because preemptive changes to the POPs.
Yeah, but the POPs are not something that the team votes on and decides. That's done that individually. So
yeah,
really, as far as the POPs are concerned, there's really only two possible budgets. So you have POP options. So the POP options is really just option 1 would be current moon month POP pay rates, right? And then you have option 2. Oh, you ready? We have like 3 minutes. Option 2 would be I believe we were talking about the
Preemptive.
March, April budget pop pay rates. Is that correct?
Yeah, if we make changes today, it would be the March, April.
It's 6 weeks after the full moon. So, anyways, we look up the date. We need to look up the date again. Look up date again.
Full moon is February 5.
But it's 6 weeks after the full moon.
6 weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
It's March, April.
Yeah, it's March, April, January, February,
March.
February, March, April. Yes, March, April. If we
Yeah,
do the
so
changes now.
the March, April budget pop rates. So, for example, let's look at, we don't have any pops linked here, but if we looked at my pop,
Yeah.
so this is SVG pop.
Yeah, SVG online. I'm linking it in J254.
You have the list of pops, or I don't know. I'm just looking.
I link your. Yeah, I mean the post we.
Oh, you
we have.
link my pop. Okay, here.
Yeah.
All right. So if we look at my pop, I'm pretty sure I updated it already. So starting in March, April. Oh wait, what is this? Okay, go. March, April. We have $550.40. $550.40.
Yeah.
So back here. So and then currently it's 750. So this is for J. It's 750, and here J is 550.40. So I just had to do the 40 cents because of the minimum wage went up by 20 cents or whatever. I don't know why I did that, but anyways, because my pop is fixed on the minimum wage, it automatically goes up to minimum wage. So so again, there's no other possible option for pops. That makes sense, right? So you can only use the current pop, or you can do March, April. If someone doesn't make a change to their pop, then their March, April budget would be the same. So, Joyce, have you made any changes to your pop?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's look at someone like Mamoon.
Me neither.
Mamoon probably didn't make a change, right? So for the current would be
No,
what's
Mamoon, no
budget?
change. We never included any changes to Mamoon.
160. So Mamoon would be
So the problem would be Ate.
April would be 160, right? So the point is for Mamoon it would be the same. So basically what I'm saying is that the team can't vote on how people change their pops, right? The pops have to be changed first,
Yes.
and then they can't be changed again until after the full moon, right? Because this basically creates a deadline that we just need to move forward at this time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know, Jay.
in
That
that
is
context,
true. But I mean, me and Joyce.
the time budgets, but the
That's
top
why-
budgets can't really move. They can't change. They have to be only based on what is verifiable. So it's either verified or it's not. There's no other option for the pops.
Yeah, so we would vote also on the time budgets. I mean, we would include also the time budgets in the proposals. Because, for example,
we can
Moth
vote on
and
the time
Ate,
budget. That's fine.
Ate and Moth, we can only play around with the time budget. Me and Joyce, we are here. We're willing to make the changes to the pop that are
Well, again, that's what I'm trying to say
needed.
is that there's no willing to make changes to the pop. Like we're in the last minutes. I mean, hours, right? There's no time for people to make more changes. So, like in our process is that you make the change and then that's it. You don't endlessly make changes because we're trying to make a budget here, right? So. Really, all of this should have been done before the previous full moon, but we didn't do it by then, right? But the bottom line is that any changes that are made would be permanent with the budget proposal. right? Because you can't rechange after the budget proposal, or you would rechange the next month's, and then you would do a longer preemptive or whatever, right? So like if we can't pass the March April budget as a preemptive, then we're going into the April May budget. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So option number three, if option number 2 doesn't pass, then we're looking at the April May budget. Because then everyone's March April budget should be fixed based on this budget proposal. So in the context of doing the budget now for the primary budgets, it's just link the pops. You click on the pop, you see what it says for the current budget, you see what it says for April, May, you write it down, that's it. Like there's no other possible change.
March, April, not April, May. Why April, May? March, April, right?
I'm saying that to be option 3. Like once you set your March, April budget, you can't change it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. So once it's proposed to the budget, basically you have until there's 2 deadlines. You have until the full moon to make changes, and then that takes effect 6 weeks later, or you have until the budget proposal, right? You can't make changes after the budget proposal. So if you make a budget proposal based on the new March, April preemptive changes, then if that doesn't pass, everybody would have to work on their April, May budgets. Because you can't change your March, April budget after it's already been proposed. Like that's the whole point of the policy, is that once you propose it, you can't change it.
Right.
Right. So it's the same thing. You just log that. Okay, that budget didn't pass for March, April. Now I'm looking at April, May. So it's just one more month. It doesn't really make a big difference, but we want to make sure that we're logging and documenting the changes in the budget. But the point that I'm trying to make is there's really just 2 options as far as the actual pops, because no one can change their pop. It's like you change your pop, you propose it. Once it's approved by your buddy team and proposed into the organization, that's it. It's done. We already talked about this last week. Everyone should have updated their pops, and then it should be done. And then either they updated it or didn't update, or had it approved or didn't have it approved, and that's it. There's no other level, right? There's no like oh, this person should change it by 5% this way or 5% that way. You can't do that, right? It's just like if they choose not to change it, that's their decision. And then the rest of us either have to take additional, have to deal with the time budget cuts. But the question is, does it meet policy? We need to do 10% cuts on the actual pop, with the preemptive vote.
Okay.
So just like, again, this all comes down to the bottom line, which is like step 1 or step 2, whatever it is pop verification, and you're just verifying the pops. And then when you're putting it into the budget, it should be very, very simple. And then if there's a preemptive budget change, then that would be a separate vote in addition to the normal budget vote. And then we can play around with the time budgets a little bit if we want to have different options. But again, the time budgets don't really matter. Like when somebody has like $750 for their budget, if they're working those hours, which we're encouraging everybody to work more hours right now, because we need everyone to step up to get the launch done, right? So we're expecting everybody to work over their allotted hours. So the time budget is kind of not applicable at this time.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we said. I mean, we should work only on the overall budget.
Yeah.
So I made my changes to the pop.
Okay, so do you guys have that all under control? Just do option 1, current option 2, and then we can look at any time budget changes. But again, the primary focus should just be on the actual verifiable pops. All right.
Correct.
And if there's any problems in verifying someone's pop, let us know. But I gotta get going. Okay, so I'll talk to you guys a little later.
Jay, can you see later Jay?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, can you see later the one I put in the activity? I made the for what's that called? For the pictures. For asking the team for the picture. I don't know if I did it correctly.
What am I looking at? Where? Oh, pictures and protocols, guidelines. I need your
Yeah.
okay. I'll be sending to decision makers once this is approved. What is there to approve? What is there to approve? I don't understand. We already approved it.
No, no, I mean, is it correct what I said here, that what I did, or before I put in
Yeah,
the
this is fine.
decision?
So let's look at what the
It's okay.
submission thing is. Oh, it's just a folder. Interesting.
Folder.
Right.
And
Sounds
one
like-
more thing, Jay, the life support list. It's okay. I can invite now.
Well, no, we haven't gone through. I mean, you can invite and do whatever you want, but we have not gone through the list and done the responsibility and the actual verification at all.
It's
We
here,
didn't do
Jay.
it.
I put here in the Discord, just above it.
Is it above it?
Mm-mm.
Jay, please advise. Can I go ahead and send invites to the following invitees for the support? Like 5 days. So again, I feel like what you're inviting to is the session.
Yes,
right?
the session. Yes.
Yeah. So the problem with the session is that that's not what we invite people to. Right? You invite people to the program, and if they want to join the program, they can, and then you can use the session as, a guide. But the session itself is you send reminders to people who are signed up for the session. So when someone signs up for the session, you send them reminders because they're signed up to go to the session. But again, that's a separate thing from the program.
So I asked first the team to sign up for the life support program.
I mean, I would assume that all of our team is already signed up and wanting to do it.
Yes.
But that's the whole point of the list. Like the entire purpose of the list is the follow-up.
Yeah.
Right? Because every person might have a slightly different status. And so the list is to be checking all the boxes off. What step 1, step 2, step 3, what status is each person on? Are they on the email list? Are they, I mean, have you done the recruitment before? It's like you have like the person's name and you have all the steps for the recruitment. Did they join the program? Did they want to come to the session? Have they gotten the reminders? Are they on the email list? Are they on the Discord? It's just like these are all the check boxes. So as soon as you add a new person, it's like you go through all the check boxes for that person to follow up.
Mm-hmm.
So once you understand the process for the responsibility itself, it's not really about the individuals on the list. It's about where each person is in the process.
Mm.
Right? Because different people are at different positions. Like if you're a worker, if you're, external, if you're internal, like it just depends on the situation, how they're involved.
I
Right?
thought,
But
I
either
thought
way,
we
you can send out a reminder and tell everybody the life support session is coming, and they can come join it. But also the question is, what do they have to do to join the program? What do they have to do to get on the list? So these are all things that we need to work out in the responsibly organizing and make sure that this is like a recruitment process, right? It's basically just like any other follow-up, including the follow-up that we're going to do with our clients, right? When we have a list of clients, every single potential client will be a different status point on where they are in our funnel. Okay?
Okay. So I'll just send like announcement that we will have.
Yeah, whatever you want to do is fine. But again, the responsibility itself has not been completed, and we still have not gone through it. We were going to prioritize it today. We were going to prioritize it yesterday. And for whatever reason, we just haven't been prioritizing it. Okay?
Okay, Jay. So for now, I will just put that we have session, right, on February 1. Correct?
Yeah, and just like making sure just remind everybody, let everyone know what's happening.
Yes.
And then if they choose to come, they can. With Aaron, I feel like we should just focus Aaron on the session that he already scheduled, which is the
February
week
8.
after. You can invite him to life support, but why would he have scheduled for the week after if he wanted to come to this week? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Cool. All right, anything else?
That's all. Jay.
We're good, Jay. Okay.
Thank you.
What?
Yeah. Yes.
No, the executive support session is in 13 minutes. I don't know how we're gonna do that. We wanna postpone it to Cobalt H3.
Yeah, let's just postpone and cancel it and check in on the budget. Like, are you guys going to continue to work on the budget, or are you stopping?
No, I'm gonna finish including the budget options in the budget. Make the change.
Okay, cool. So yeah,
Check again the
just
change.
let me know, and then let's just get this completed. Then after this, let's take at least a 30-minute break, and then we can see where you are. I mean, it's getting pretty late, and you need to deal with dinner and stuff like that too soon. But I gotta go for now. Okay.
Okay.
And I did
Okay, thank you.
invites to the Google group. I mean, not to the Google group, to the mailman.
Yeah.
And I did all the other things too. So I gotta go. All right.
Thank you,
Talk to you guys
Jay.
later.